Oh, Bill is Power here with the review the Kamen Saber short movie. Um, the DX Emotional Dragon Wonder Ride book. So as you can tell from here, this is a retoying off of Jolly Dragon, a better one in my opinion, because Jolly Dragon just isn't good for people that like it. What's wrong with you? Um, and then here we have Saber Emotional Dragon, the top, the left, the right. They actually, nope. They failed us again. They used the same image here. They're just being sneaky at upscaling this, but you couldn't tell. Emotional Dragon is a retoying off of Crimson Dragon, which again, it's another decent retoying. Just because yeah, they reused the shield from fours, but or the shield module, but the way it just works a lot. And again, the same laziness they did with the Blood Driver. They just took the transformation of the book and just plastered it at the top. It doesn't even say I rather just prefer Kamen Rider Saber Emotional Dragon. That's just more stylistic. But I do like how this is more, closer to Wonder Ride book boxes, and also because this is literally just Jolly Dragon just cut down, obviously because it has no flap. Again, I still have yet to open this because I need to get my 01 stuff, so yep. So here we have the Emotional Dragon Wonder Ride book out. As you can tell, it's a blatant reuse of Jolly Dragon. However, I don't mind that. However, because now you got the silver chrome, which is pretty neat. Emotional Dragon, like so. Obviously, the colors have been swapped. Instead of black, it's this nice sparkly gold. And then, obviously, instead of purple, you get this dark crimson red. It's actually a lot different shade of red, and I appreciate that. Other than that, it's all the same stuff. Like, the Wonder Mark is still here, the reset button is the same, the button is the same, the speaker placement. I will compare it later. Story page. So the text, again the story page, QR code for Gombarizing, and then for the transformation page, obviously it's the same idea as Jolly Dragon, they just simplified it. Obviously there's, instead of 5 dragons, it's 3. I find it interesting they got rid of the Seiken, but that's because of the fact this is supposed to represent Saber's body, because obviously these are the individual dragons. There's Brave Dragon, and I don't know the names of these two. But they look pretty cool, though. So we will just start from this. So, then here's Joe. I definitely like Emotional a lot more. It's just a lot more. I never liked Joe in the first place, so. There we go with that. And then there's no point in comparing the story pages because why? So let's go through the sounds. Obviously, we get the activation, story activation, the book activation. Interestingly enough, it's not the same as Jolly Dragon, but the story announcements, we get 4. If I can actually get it. So there we get the main one, and now we're going to get one for each of the individual dragons. And as you can hear from here, we actually get 3 voices instead of the traditional 2. And I just want to point out, I like how each of the dragons have a part of emotional dragon. That's actually pretty neat. So let's put this in the sword driver. Obviously, you want Rekka. Just need to wake that up. So. Obviously, you're going to slide into here, like so, finally. Obviously, just the traditional standby. I don't know why I didn't want to stand up. So here we go with Saber Emotional Dragon. The jingle's fantastic. The fact that we actually finally have a female like announcer is cool. That like I don't know, like I don't really consider Pulpy to be the first. Like, it's really the quiz driver that was first, but then that's technically to 2040. So it's really nice that we finally get a female vocalist in this, like, in Kamen Rider in general. I feel like that's a thing that, for some reason, has taken a really long time actually happening. Um, yeah. So, the finisher is, like, the first finisher is actually the Seiken. Obviously, that's the same generic, like, Densetsu no Shinju sound we've had, but then this one actually counts because this is, you know, his kick. Now for the actual finisher with the emotional, obviously just like Jowl, just flip the page, flip the cover, flip the book. Obviously the same standby. So again, you technically get another Geki sound because it's for some reason carrying over what Jowl did, and it's literally the same sound. It's just cut down significantly. And just like Jowl, you want to pull it out and then fold it to do the Hisatsu reads. Obviously the same traditional stuff we've done. Now we're actually going to introduce the Kyomu into the reviews. Essentially, it's the same thing. I also forgot to mention that obviously this thing is compatible with the booster, but it's treated like, you know, a normal Wonder Ride book. You're actually able to scan it up to 3 times, unlike the normal Seikens where you're only able to scan it once. I just had to mention that because I literally forgot about that. Last but not least, the Kuriyami, where this technically should say Jowl Reed. But you might be wondering, why didn't you pull out the caliper driver then? Yeah, they decided to not use Jaw Dragon's chip and just used the generic Densetsu no Shinju. So this one is now our 4th Wonder Ride book. Our 4th giant Wonder Ride book to have Densetsu no Shinju and, what's the word I'm looking for? nothingness. Chomu. Like, I understand because what temperature? No. I got 15 minutes left. This should be fine. Like, okay, I guess I understand them just opting out on just doing the Densetsu no Shinju blankness. Chip, because, you know, then this thing would have read this thing as Jao, which obviously they didn't want. But yeah, that's essentially it for Emotional Dragon. And while, you know, it's basic, I absolutely love it. It's a blast on having. This is probably like one of my favorite Saber power-ups. Just because like, obviously the suit is a retooling off of Crimson Saber. That's the wrong form. Crimson Dragon, but I don't mind it at all because it's like a really nice, like, it's a really nice evolution, in my opinion, on like Saber, because I like how Emotional Dragon still consists of the colors of Brave Dragon, but just add like more armor to it. It's really neat. I think I forgot to state this within both of these, or between like the Mumeke and Chomu. The prices on these things are kind of like aftermarket prices are kind of for premium stuff. Like the Mumeke Chomu is literally like 7,000 yen. So it's like $70. I think this thing goes for 40, but I don't recommend that. Try to get this for like 30 at best. Or at least like 20. Get it for like Jal Dragon's price, but not its current price, because it's literally sold for like $10 new, and I wish I got it for that much. But it's just like, essentially, I just love what this one brings to the toy line, and obviously later on, as you know, we finally get a female voice. We just finally get a female voice within the toys that isn't someone within the cast, and we finally get something that's better than Jal Dragon. Like, that's what I really have to say. Like, because it's just like, I'm just happy that I'm not stuck with Jal Dragon. That I have this thing I can play around with, and like Jal Dragon just being the trash. But yeah. Obviously, I think I should state this too. This and Falchion did appear in the show, although this thing was way more briefer because it only did one slash. He never used the Geki, like, emotional Hisatsugeki sound. So we're never gonna see what that looks like. And, obviously Falchion actually got to use, I don't know, he did the same stuff he did in the movie. Again, I've not watched the show, but yeah, there's not really much else to say. It's a fantastic Wonder Ride book. Obviously you can't make primitive elemental emotional dragon, or no, it will be elemental emotional primitive dragon. Like, obviously this thing does not fit in primitive dragon at all, just because of how oddly blockage it is. But like, you know, I already harped on that with Jal Dragon. This thing is like, you know, just pure perfection. I did not know this was a separate piece. That's oh, obviously this is for the crest. I love this thing a lot. This is PowerRider, and I love you people. This is poor. Bye. 10 minutes left.